in supplemental money to make him eligible. Bill Allen is one of those owners, and I guess the obvious question is why for a horse that's 30 to 1 on the morning line?
Well, obviously, we don't think the horse should be 30 to 1 on the morning line, and probably will not go off at 30 to 1. He's been long odds in all of the 3 races that he's running this year, but the 3 races that he's won of importance have been 1/5 off the track record in 2 of those races and broke the track records, and one of them by 5 lengths of Oaklawn handicap. And he's beat some of the best horses in the United States, and we've been waiting to run against Slew of Gold on a California track rather than going to New York to meet him.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you think he can win? Are you going to bet your money at those long odds?
Well, I certainly intend to. I wouldn't pass up the opportunity. And I don't think any of my partners or the trainer would either.
That's wild again. If you see him looking at the tote board as he goes to the post, you might want to make a quick trip to the window.
Well, Tom Hammond with that interview obviously earlier out in the stable area. Now we have him down in the paddock area with an update.
Well, Dick, we do have an update. Karen Taylor of the Slew crew is here to talk about Slew of Gold. You told me you had some mixed emotions. This will be the colt's last race?
Yes, this is his last dance, and I feel kind of emotional about it because he will be graduating today, and he's going to a different life, and hopefully, though, our only future now is that he makes his daddy a sire of sires. Well, but this is kind of a sad moment because it's his last dance.
All right, well, we hope he graduates magna cum laude today. We hope he brings home the trophy for you because he has been an outstanding performer, unbeaten, and perhaps will nail down the horse of the year. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Dick.
All right, part of the entry, Slew of Gold currently at 4 to 5, the favorite to win our final race today, the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Quite a story. Slew of Gold, if it wins, takes home $1.5 million, sired by Seattle Slew. A purchase of only $17,500 with Seattle Slew. Seattle Slew, one of racing's greatest bargains, winner of the Triple Crown, now brilliant as a sire, but all has not been smooth amongst the Slew's crew.
What do Slew of Gold and his great sire Seattle Slew have in common? Their owners, the Taylors and Hills, are daring and visible, and their trainers often get fired. Love them or fear them, the Slew crew raises another intriguing question. Would you like to train a horse for these nice people?
You can't always get along with people forever. And when things sour, there's no sense in battling it. You might as well go ahead and make the move and go on to something else.
And being in the horse business 100% of the time, 5:30 at the barn, it's we have a lot of money involved, and we take an active interest in it.
No one in life gets along perfectly well. I don't know how, 4 people can't live together, 6 people can't live together. You have a tough time living with your husband or your wife, your kids, or whatever. Life isn't smooth.
Once, after the crew had fired both trainer and jockey during Slew's career, trainer Phil Johnson wondered if someday they'd fire the horse.
You have to just laugh at that. That's the only thing we couldn't fire. We were stuck with the horse.
This summer, Slew of Gold's trainer also bit the dust, and he was fired from mid-ocean while the Hills were on a cruise.
Well, it's really not true that there's no ship-to-shore firing of trainers.
No, things just always go wrong when we go on vacation, and then he jumps ship and I get left.
Talk about gambling. When Seattle Slew was syndicated, the Hills and Taylors dared to keep half the horse and, against all advice, take half the risk.
When the experts in Kentucky and elsewhere found out that we were syndicating this horse and hanging on to this much of him, they thought we were really like we just rode in on a watermelon wagon. We were the 2 country bumpkins.
Probably the very first time, the day before Seattle Slew ran in the Champaign as a 2-year-old, that night or the day before, there was a telephone call to Jim offering $1 million for Seattle Slew. This is after only 2 starts, and I heard him on the phone, and he said, well, that's very nice, and thank you so much, but no, we're really not interested. And he hung up the phone, and I said, what was that? And he said, oh, it was $1 million offer for Seattle Slew, and I said, couldn't we even have discussed it? I don't think any of us were thinking so much about the risk we were running in case something happened to him, we'd be out the money. We just wanted to stay part of him. We really did. And it's like throwing the dice on the table. We made a commitment. We've made a total commitment to this industry.
The commitment and the joy might have faded one terrible winter when the mighty Slew almost died.
It was a long day in my life. We took a blood on him, and I believe it was about 5 hours later we got the blood back, and his white count was so high that of a dead horse.
We all tried to fight back, and he fought back, and it's been a marvelous experience, but it makes you appreciate all the good things that come to you every single day.
So while trainers and critics may come and go, the Slough crew will be around for a long time.
We had a great horse in Seattle Slough, and we were lucky enough to have another great horse in Slough Gold. And we could have said in '78, well, this will never happen to us again, and just said, forget it. But we are young, and we had a future in racing, and we hope we have a bigger future in racing, and we'd like to be here a long time, so everyone's going to just have to live with us, I guess.
Good luck, Angel. Get them.
And here, in fact, is one of those people, Mickey Taylor, one of the co-owners. The last minute now, how does he feel? How does he look?
Super. He looks good. His foot's fine. And he should run very, very well.
Had some observations on how the track is running today. Nobody's coming from, or running on the lead, rather, coming from a little bit off the pace. That looks best. Ideally suited for your horse.
You know, he can lay off of it, or he can lay close. You know, I don't think he's probably 100%. You know, we've done a lot of fooling around with him the last couple of days. But, you know, he's super, and he's got a great personality, and he thinks that he's king, and he'll give a good performance.
So you're a little bit more relaxed today than you were over the past 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, the last 3 days have been a long 3 days.
Well, good luck, you all. In just a couple of minutes, and we will as well. Whether the great Slough Gold can add another to his outstanding string of victories. Let's go back to Dick.
Thank you.
Slough Gold to the track, and another look at Peb's humor. That important communication, owner to trainer, and of course then the trainer communicates the jockey, and the most important part of it all, in this case, will Angel Cordero be able to tell Slough Gold what's ahead? We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
This is Teresa Saldana. Monday, she plays herself in her own true story. She was stalked and attacked by a fanatic, but she fought her way back from her hospital bed to save her marriage, punish her attacker, and bring hope to all victims of brutality. An NBC world premiere movie, Victims for Victims, Monday.
Yes, it's the Academy Hazard Sale for hunters and foul weather gear sale for everyone. Choose from 2,000 hunting vests in camouflage or OD colors, just $6.66 and up. 3,000 pairs of insulated coveralls, only $24.88 and up. 3,000 insulated vests, only $5 for men, women, and children. 3,000 sleeping bags, including Coleman brand and military downfilled, all at half price. The biggest assortment of rainwear for adults and children. Children's yellow raincoat with hat, only $4.88. Academy, the most interesting stores. 4 big stores to serve you, open all day Sunday.
Ain't it great to be alive in Austin, Texas? Hello, I'm Bob Cole. You know, it is great to be back home and on the air again here at KOKE. It's also great to be a part of a radio station that actually sounds like Austin. What with the music of Willie Nelson, Christopher Cross, Neil Diamond, Kenny Rogers, and Lionel Richie, how can you go wrong? Well, there is one important element we need to add to the new 95 FM, and that's you. I'm Bob Cole. Please join me Monday morning, and let's start the week off bringing back the good times on 95 FM KOKE.
Get ready. We're just minutes away from the richest race in the history of the world. $3 million on the finish line, which will be 1.25 miles after the start. Let's take a look at the field. Here's number 1, Muggety, a late jockey change. We're going to put Terry Lippem on instead of Cash Asmussen. This is a horse who is sort of like a rabbit for Slough Gold. He has a lot of talent himself, but we're all sort of convinced that this horse is in there to ensure a fast pace. And here is Slough Gold in peak form, solid class credentials, the only horse to win the Fall Championship Series in New York. He got $1 million for that. I say he's in peak form except for that hoof, but they assure us, the Slough crew does, that it's okay. So let's see if he's okay this afternoon. Here's number 2, Wild Again, snapped back to life in the Meadowlands Cup, a surprise victory there. Third last out, upstate California, a long shot. Wild Again gets the services of Pat Day. Canadian Factor is one of the long shots in the field. Closed a ton of ground to finish second to Wild Again in the Meadowlands Cup, but he's aiming very high today, and Jorge Velazquez gets the riding assignment on Canadian Factor, wearing the light blue blinkers there. Next is Track Baron. Misspelled by a secretary, by the way, when they were naming this colt, but that's how it looks. B-A-R-R-O-N. Leroy Jolly trains. Eddie Maple is the rider, and this horse had finished 4th behind Cardenasker in the Travers, then 2nd in the Jerome, and a winner at the Vosburg at 7 furlongs. And next, gate dancer Jay Privman of the Daily News out here in Los Angeles pointed out that when his races are spaced apart, he runs his best, and he's running very, very well right now. He is he's just taken his class act on the road with lots of victories, and look at those earmuffs to keep out the noise of the crowd as they cheer him, I guess, through the stretch. Precisionist, lots and lots of zip, bounces along in the front end. Let anybody try and come up and catch him, and I think you'll see that they just can't. He's got tremendous early speed. Whether he can last that 1.25 miles is the question. And Desert Wine, if the wine flows, it's vintage, and like wine, this horse improves with age. He's back here again today after a disappointing finish in the Budweiser Million, but he's back here on the dirt, and that's where he likes to race the bets. And Eddie De La Houssaye gets the riding assignment for Desert Wine. And of course, let's see if any of them are as speedy as the Chrysler. This race sponsored by Chrysler Corporation of Chrysler Plymouth Division.
And there it is, 1.25 miles. They'll start, come by once, and race for $3 million, $1.5 million to the winner. The richest race ever, the culmination of a marvelous day at Hollywood Park, the Breeders' Cup Classic, living up to all of the pre-race and pre-day billing. We've had the share of the odds-on favorites winning. Princess Rooney, of course, winning by 7 lengths, the biggest victory, and some big surprises as well. And here, the morning line for $3 million.
4 to 5 for Muggety and Slew of Gold. Wild Again and Canadian Factor start at 30. Track Baron at 6. Gate Dancer 4.5. Precisionist and Desert Wine both at 5 to 1. And the odds here are holding pretty much close to that starting point. Let's take a quick look back and see what happened earlier this afternoon. It was Chief's Crown really securing his point at the top of the 2-year-old division with a dramatic victory. He'd come from behind in the final furlong. In the second race of the afternoon, it was outstandingly getting it by virtue of a disqualification at 23 to 1, going a distance for the first time. Elo wrapping up the sprint title with a dramatic wire-to-wire victory. Royal Heroine, wow, what a race the filly ran against the boys this afternoon. Liked her here and around the country. Princess Rooney demolished her field, taking the distaff as the favorite, the 3 to 5 favorite by 7 lengths. Eddie De La Houssaye aboard for that one. And Lashkari with the French jockey Yves Saint-Martin angling out through the stretch and passing the mare all along in a great finish. That's just 6. We've got 1 more to go.
And I wonder what Axe and Harvey think about this one.
Harvey, I've just heard a report that there are freeways jammed up with traffic all the way to the San Gabriel Mountains. People rushing in late to try and get money down on Slew of Gold. He's gone, and we just showed him at 4 to 5. He is now 1 to 2 and maybe even dropping lower. Everyone's crazy about this horse. They're betting not only on a great horse, a marvelous animal, but obviously they're betting on an awfully good blacksmith.
That's why I thought that the gate dance would be much closer to him in the price, because I love Slew of Gold. I've seen all his races. I love those people. But this crazy horse with his earmuffs, I don't know. Let's take it, Dick.
Okay, gentlemen, Slew of Gold, the favorite, currently at 1 to 2 for the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic, and we're going to have the start of that race just minutes away.
A trackside moment from First Jersey Securities. Few experiences equal stepping into the winner's circle as the owner of a thoroughbred racehorse, or the breeding of 2 champions in the hope of producing an even greater champion. From owning or breeding thoroughbreds to owning the tracks they race on, racing has always been the business of the wealthy. Today, public companies like International Thoroughbred Breeders give fans a chance to be part owners in the business of racing and the sport of kings.
The great American railroads. They were built to